on our muscles by rubbing, kneading, or patting. Stimulate circulation, increase suppleness, relieve tension. Manipulation is about palpation and reduction of dislocation. Mobilization is to restore power to a joint. We use muscles and we move the skeleton. Our feelings and emotions can affect the muscles and the skeleton, so let us release them in our world. Breathe, bring yourself back here, and stabilize yourself. The body is an organism that works with us in unison. Welcome to our Health Hangout. Today we're going to talk about manual therapy. And with us is Mr. Greg Wiater. Um, he is in Spain. And Greg, would you please introduce yourself to all of us?
Hello, everybody. As June said, I live in Spain, but I originate from Poland. But one stage I was thinking that the cold weather is not for me, so I decided to go to Spain, and this is actually perfect place for it. I have been manual therapist. I have started my journey with the therapy some 15 years ago. And it happened that I just graduated from university. I got my business degree. And then one day I don't remember how it was, but I saw somewhere advertising about massage course. And I saw it and I immediately got excited and smiled and said, yes, I want to do something that is practical. In comparison with the university, which was really, really boring for me, just memorizing the things. And there was very little practical things. So I saw the advertising, the publicity, and I called. I find out about it, and then I don't know. 1 month later, I was in, and then I did my course, and I started my journey with the world of natural medicine, with therapies, and I continue working until today. And it's been already about 15 years.
Wow, that's a long time. So we can talk a lot about that. Also, I'm interested to know why your practice is in Spain and you are in an island. Is it tell us the name of your island and how is it there in terms of weather and stuff like that?
Well, the island belongs to the Canary Islands. I'm on the island Gran Canaria. I've chosen here specifically for the weather. And because of this element also with the weather, so this is one of the major tourist destinations for the whole Europe, especially in winter months. And I have my own practice here, and that's, would you like to know anything else?
I'd like to know how therapists support themselves, like who massages you? Because once I was massaging people, and it's hard to get someone to massage on me. I will have to work on maybe selecting the right masseuse and stuff like that. So tell us.
Well, there is a saying that the shoemaker walks barefoot. And I see it very often that a lot of therapists, we work a lot with people. When it comes to the point of getting massage ourselves, that's usually a difficult point because we say, okay, next week, and then many people, my colleagues, they just basically never have time for getting massage for themselves. And I have also moments when I work for a long period of times without getting massage, but then I do go and find myself somebody reliable, trustworthy, and then I also get massage from time to time. But the general thing with the shoemaker walking barefoot applies also in this industry, in this field.
Okay. Do you pay to be able to get massage, or you have friends you do it with?
I prefer to pay. I prefer to pay for the simple reason that I see the massage is very hard, very intensive work, and so I rather go somewhere and I pay. But there are cases, of course, with my good friends and so on, when there are moments when we exchange. I do the treatment, and sometime in the future I need a treatment, so I go and we just do exchange. But generally, I prefer to pay and yeah, be done with this in a sense. Don't have this debt in a sense that I did something for you, you owe me, and I try to be away from this kind of situation. I want to give something free and don't have this debt situation hanging on my shoulders that I have to do something for somebody or somebody for me, you know?
I do understand what you mean. So I learned to win a massage in Melbourne, and that's quite um, an experience for me. I mean, so when you were studying, um, can you share us what your experiences of studying um, manual therapy and why manual therapy instead of massage?
Why, say again?
Why did you study manual therapy rather than massage, and what's the difference?
Interestingly, I was also studying in Australia, but if you were in Brisbane, you were in Melbourne, I was in Brisbane. I don't think so. There was the same time frame, but anyway, when I was starting, the point was for me, I started with the massage course because this was the things that was in front of me, and so I started with the massage course, and once I finished the course, there's always the things. Once you start working, you get experience, and there were cases with patients that what I learned at school was not working, was not effective. So I started to investigate it and study, and I moved from a normal massage therapist into the therapist that can actually help effectively people with the problems. So as I said, I moved from just a massage therapist into more advanced level of therapists, into manual therapists. And what is the difference? Well, if you finish the course of massage, you are a massage therapist. You do there, they teach you some basic things about how to deal with the back pain and so on. But quite often this is not enough. So then we have, in a sense, more advanced level like physiotherapists, chiropractors, and of course doctors. Manual therapist falls between a massage therapist and physiotherapist. On the official way, if we talk about the papers and the hierarchy, it looks something like this one. In practice, is that what I do, I actually can teach physiotherapists and doctors, and I will do course this year in Norway. Simply because one of the experienced doctors in Norway had treatment with me. He got really, really impressed what I was doing. I was able to help him with the problems with the traditional medicine could not help him. And so you see, on the paper, I'm somewhere falling between massage therapist and physiotherapist. In practice, I can teach them quite often. Not always, but I have many patients who come from the physiotherapists who are not able to help them, and I achieve a lot of, let's say, miracles.
So when you say miracles, do you mean getting the pain out of a certain muscle or joint or anything like that?
Well, let's say we have somebody who has had some kind of problem, injury or accident. A traditional way, how we have been taught, we go to the doctors. This is the first way to go. The doctors can send you further to physiotherapist. The traditional way physiotherapist does their sessions because it's also part of the insurance, so the patient doesn't pay. Let's say if there is something serious, then the patient gets 10 treatments. But when this treatment doesn't work, the patient stays with the pain, so then they're starting to ask themselves questions. questions and start searching further. So then, I think I'm getting lost with this one, but
yeah, do they refer to you, some clients, the doctors and them?
no. The system, how it works, that when something happens, following the laws, the doctor has the doctor is the god. He's got to say something on paper. Then we have physiotherapists, then we have chiropractors, and if this doesn't work, then people in their own themselves, they're searching for some cure for the problems, then they may come to me. Or people who know me, or people who search and by accident, they come and meet me, and then I speak with them. And then we do the treatment, and I help them, and this is basically how it works. This is unfortunate that the system works this way, but personally, I have decided I will not study physiotherapy or chiropractor or being a doctor for the sake of having a paper. And I'm more focused on doing practically what people who are ready and open and who want practical solutions. So this is my general guideline in life. I have enough sick of papers, getting more paper certificates and so on. So I do my work. But then getting people to come to me, it is more like people who know me or through referrals, but I don't get this from the doctors.
Well, what's the struggle in school? Because I know that in school they have curriculums and stuff like that. What's the most challenging part of it for you?
In what sense? I don't understand the question.
In school, meaning to get your certificate, because you were saying, all these certificates and stuff like that, you're done with that. And I feel the same way. I can relate to that. Like, school is something that is not natural for me. You get into something and then you have to learn in this kind of situation where you gotta do this and you gotta do this. Where's the natural creative process there? That's what I'm looking at. So in school, what is your challenge? What is your struggle? Is it the time that's involved to finish this course? Is it the choosing your partner in massaging and the practical sense, or the theory part of it?
Are you referring to this studying and doing like
Yeah.
a physiotherapy course? First of all, it costs a lot of money.
Yes. Yes.
Secondly, it would involve a lot of time of mine. I would have to participate in classes and so on, which at the moment would not be possible. The third point is I would have to learn again the things which I already know and I have studied 2 or 3 or 4 times in my life, which I already know, but I would have to repeat it here in Spain for the sake of getting the paper, which is for me boring. And the main issues, I would do it basically for the paper to get the recognition, recognition in the system to be able to work as a physiotherapist. In regards to what I do, not much would change it what I do, because what I know and what I've studied, it works very often works. I have cases that are beyond my skills and so on, then I refer it. But basically studying at this moment physiotherapy would be for me basically getting a paper and would be very inconvenient and would not really change much in how I work.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Poland, from Europe, from Poland. And yeah, I came to Spain because basically of the climate. I like the sun, I like the warm weather, and I like to be close to the sea.
Right. So tell us, if, for example, someone has a wrist problem, being in the computer or working in the computer for so long, just like me, what do you advise?
What would I advise? You see, why we're developing the problems is I don't know how many hours do you spend on this computer, but how many hours do you spend on a computer a day or a week?
Uh, phew, more than 12, I think.
A day,
Uh-huh.
typing all the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
and in between that, of course, yeah, other things. But mostly I'm in the computer.
and since when do you have this problem with the wrist?
And just recently, that's a good question, uh, because the first time I experienced this is when I was working in the kitchen and I was doing this hand mixer. I was holding the hand mixer and mixing this stuff. And in the rotation of my wrist like that, I felt there is something that snapped there somehow, you see, but I let it pass. And then after about 3 days or so, I started to push myself to do a lot of things in the computer to hit this target, this goal that I have for a business that I'm doing. And I felt it's weak. And I felt that it's really tired. And so I put this support, it's like an elastic kind of support there, like what the sports people use.
Yeah.
So
Have you tried to do anything about it on your own?
no, just that. But I thought I'd support the body by um, lessening the the things I do in the computer. And I guess it's our quest for survival that's really putting a stress on the body. But I want to know the physical mechanics of when someone goes to you on this having this problem. What do you do?
Okay, so when I have somebody coming to me with, let's say, wrist pain here, I will not go and start doing some massage on these wrists. Before I do it, I will ask, okay, so what do you do? Since when you have this problem? How is your lifestyle? What do you do? Have you tried to do anything with this before? And this kind of questions. And from these things, I will find out, okay, is it related to the person like did some strenuous work in the recent days? That's whether an accident or whether it came from excessive work. So it could be because today almost everybody uses the computer for many hours. So this could be the main point, and so on. And once I get the information from the patient, I will then decide what to do. But then, even then, it will be very little there will be almost the point that I will not work on the wrist, because I have learned in my therapist that the cause of the pain is not where the pain is. So when you have the pain in the wrist, the cause usually is somewhere else, almost always. And then it's important to know where is the cause. And from here we have few options, because if we don't correct this cause of the problem, I can do a massage on your wrist, you may feel better, but then eventually you will manifest this pain again. So I'm more interested in searching for the cause and make the corrections there rather than treating the symptoms, which is the pain. So from you, you mentioned that you work on the computer. So for me, I would say, okay, let's go there. I will talk with my patient and I say, okay, if you work so much on the computer, then we see, okay, is it possible to reduce the amount of work on the computer? Secondly, if it's not possible, then I will look at the posture, how the person works at the desk. Because this is the main issue. Sitting on the computer, what is happening that people usually sit like this, or sit there, or I don't know if you can see me here, but you can work in the sense that you keep your shoulders up all the time. The tension in the shoulder accumulates, and So I would look at the investigate at the person how they're sitting in the computer desk, how they work, how they're, because from there it will develop a lot of problems with the wrist. It will develop from there.
So what is the right posture in the computer? I mean,
the person should be sitting straight. Then you have to see. Then you have to see what you're doing with your shoulders, because you can. The shoulders should be actually here. Should be relaxed. If you keep it, or imagine that if you keep it there all day, there's a tension all the time. 12 hours a day, you have tension in your trapezius muscles up here. You get used to it, but this is like if you sit in the car and you just keep your foot on the accelerator all day and you keep the engine on the high revs. This is like this muscle keeps the tension all the time unnecessary. So it's like an engine on the high revs. The muscle needs energy, keep all the tension, and this is accumulates the tension. So the muscles, the shoulder should be relaxed there, here, then here. It should be actually as close as possible. The elbow should be as close as possible to the body. And the best would be if you have support here under the elbow. And you look for the positions when you sit down and you are as much relaxed as possible here if you don't have any tension. You know, the funny thing is that when I speak with people with these corrections, like about the posture, it is that they agree with me, okay, I will do it, no? And that's fine. You go back to work and it's just impossible, so you forget about this. If they see me, always they just put themselves immediately straight and just correct the posture. So when they see me, it's like so funny. But this is how it works. They see me and they immediately put themselves in a good posture. I'm not talking about the computer, but anywhere. This is like it's really good. It's funny, but it's really, really good because it's a kind of reminder. Greg is coming, guys. Anyway, so. Once you're sitting at the computer desk or whatever you do, you stop for a second, you breathe, and you see whether your body is relaxed or whether you keep unnecessary tensions. I was observing this with myself, like at some point I was playing computer game, and you see it was like so focused on the computer screen and you know, doing the things there. And I was noticing how at some point I noticed how I keep the tension in my leg. I don't need the leg for playing the computer game, but I was keeping this tension in my leg, then somewhere in the shoulders and so on. And this is what I was saying. You're holding your foot on the accelerator all day. You keep the engine on the high revs, and this is how you actually make your body more tired and you put stress. But this is like leg. We're talking about your wrist. So about your wrist, we'll be looking at how is your shoulder here, how you hold it, how is your elbow, whether you keep the tension unnecessary here, and you have to find yourself a comfortable positions when you don't have this unnecessary stress in the muscles, and take it from there. Now, the next point will be, once I discuss it with the patient about the posture, then I will go and have a look at the body. So I will have a look. I will have a look at the tensions around the chest muscle, because if you, let's say, if you work on the computer and you keep this tension here, this muscle here will pull the shoulder out of its place, and this will create some problems with the wrist. So I will then look at the chest muscle, see if there is some tensions there. Then I will look at the back. I will look at the spine, whether this is a. If you see me here, this is usually the place where the people with the computers have pain there. And from there, because of the nervous system, goes there to the arms and so on. This is how I'm talking here about the cause of the problem here. The pain here in the wrist is a symptom, but then the correction will be here in the chest, it will be in the shoulder, here will be in the spine. But then these problems in the spine come from the bad posture.
Oh, wow. So tell me, because posture involves the sitting posture, the standing posture. Okay, so you said support the elbow. How do you do that?
It will be difficult to see, but you'll be looking at having a desk where when you have resting positions of your shoulder, that will be somewhere your height will naturally at the height when your elbow is resting naturally with a little bit there. There is different solutions on the market. There are tables when you can have adjustable height.
The ergonomic tables. Yeah.
Ergonomic tables when you have a motor there and you can adjust the height of the table, not just adjusting the height of the seat, which is also a solution, but also you have adjustable tables. And this way you're looking for the positions where you can sit down and you feel relaxed. You can relax and you're able to work on the computer.
What about wrist?
What?
Wrist support for the computer. You can buy this.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
That
helps too. Yeah, that one.
You're looking for something. You're looking for basically anything that gives you comfortable, to make you sit comfortable at the table on the computer desk, and so you can type comfortable. And then the thing is, first of all, working 8 hours or 12 hours on the computer, it should not be there. We work like this one because we have created a system when we have to work. When we work so much, if we don't work, we just go on the street and we have to find another job. This is not really good and not healthy, I would say. But then, at the moment, because we cannot change it, then we have to cope with this one, and you have to cope with this one. You do everything possible to at least to help your body, to support your body, and deal with this one. But I haven't finished yet with the corrections. So this is the posture.
Good. I'm listening. I'm really interested, Greg.
Good practice with the things is also like, okay, you can have what I have also noticed in my practice. Ergonomic chairs are good, but it doesn't mean that the most expensive ergonomic chair is gonna give you the solution. I have actually gone to IKEA shop. I bought myself a chair for the child for 20 euros in comparison with the ergonomic chair, which costs about 400 to 500 euros or even more. And this 20 euros chair is comfortable for me because it gives me good support. You see, you're correcting your posture all the time.
I know. No, because when you talk about something, you kind of adjust your behavior.
Of course.
According to what you're talking. So it's good that we're talking about corrections, because then our behavior can be corrected also. Because we're talking really about body abuse here. We just don't call it that. But because of the system we're existing in, we're pushed to the survival mode day in and day out. So our body suffers too. And I think massage can help support the body physically.
Yes, but you see, I have people who come with the pains, and we identified it comes basically for the computer, from working many hours on the computer. But you see, you come for me for massage once a month, maybe twice. This is not enough. This is going to help you relieve the pains, but if you go and sit there for 30 days, you come for once for a month, and you sit for 30 days, the benefit from the massage will last there for maybe 2, 3, 4 days, but then it comes again, the problem. See? So
yeah, go ahead.
You can come for massage, but this is not enough. You can come for massage every 2, 3 days, but then there is few people who can afford it. Secondly, it becomes really boring to come for massage every 3 days, have massage, boring for the patient, and then boring for me, but maybe I leave it for another topic. No, I said no. Okay, it would become boring for me because I know that the correction is somewhere there in regards to the posture and in correction in the system. And here I have to deal all the time with the symptoms, and I would not move the cause at all. So not working and changing the course. If the patient doesn't change this position or doesn't make any other changes necessary there, it becomes to me boring to treat all the time symptoms. But we can leave it for more for the future. Let's go back to the correction because we haven't finished yet. So the posture.
I'm really into this.
So the posture at the computer desk is one point, but then if you have adjustable height of the table of the chair, it's good to change the position. So you can have an ergonomic chair or you can have a chair, but then it's also good to change the position at the desk. you can have this, this is like big physio balls. There is like, you can sit on them. If you want, I can show you. There's a big physio ball, so it's good to have like maybe
Oh,
another
yeah, yeah.
chair,
I know what you're saying.
or sit on this physio ball for 1 hour and then change on the chair, or then if you have the adjustable height of the table, so you stand up. So changing position is really, really, really effective way in helping the body. Then I have also heard from patients that when they work in the office, they get phone calls, they get off this computer desk and they walk around the office to give themselves a break. Then another one with the wrists. You can find a lot of information on the internet that wrist working with the computer mouse and the keyboard on this position is not ergonomic. So you can find on the internet mouse that can put the places your wrist and your arm in this position, and this is ergonomic. It takes immediately a lot of stress from the wrist and from these muscles here. So I've heard of clients, their company invested into this, buying this mouse that puts the wrist in this position. It's like a vertical mouse or at the angle, and say within a few months, many people stopped complaining about the problems with the wrist. But this is if you use the mouse a lot. When typing on the keyboard, it would be the same. That there is also ergonomic keyboards which can put your either hands in this position. Can you see it? Instead of being like this one, which is also not ergonomic, it puts your hands in this position. Or even there are keyboards when imagine that is like a keyboard is like a triangle. So you type like this. Can you see it? It's like a triangle.
Oh,
and this no, like this. Look, instead of typing like this, the keyboard is broken in half, and it's like
that?
Yeah, and this immediately takes off the stress from the wrist.
Really?
Yeah. So there are companies that are into this kind of stuff. They have money into, and they invest in the mouse, vertical mouse, or even keyboard, and this also helps. But this is for people who work professionally.
It's called vertical mouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them are expensive, but I've seen also something cheaper versions, and I also have a mouse pointer, which is like sitting on front of my finger, and you see it, right?
Okay.
But this one, it is very easy for me. It puts places my hand and wrist in the different positions immediately, and I feel better.
So it's not in that position. What do you call that? That's the vertical mouse?
Finger mouse. I think it's finger mouse. You can buy it on eBay for €2 or $2. It's very cheap, but it's like really what? But you see, in your case, you are typing a lot. Comes the keyboard, and the keyboard, vertical keyboard. Then you're looking at investment of about maybe $100 to even $200, something like this. About at least $100 you have to pay for this keyboard. That would be like.
What do you call that keyboard?
Ergonomic keyboard. Okay. Then you have to find.
Oh, that is being used by people who are quadriplegic and people with disabilities, isn't it? Keyboard. What do you call that again?
Ergonomic keyboards.
Ergonomic keyboard. Okay, great.
But as I said, this is when you're doing this job professionally, and you cannot change the job because you have no other choice, because you
or change the system.
Yeah, the system is the way, and so for the moment, you at least support your body as much as possible within what you do.
I do.
Make more corrections.
Right.
So we have first of all the posture. You want to say something?
I'm interested. Do you have any more? Because you have a lot of support for just the wrist. Yeah.
Yeah, for just the wrist, and we should talk about other things as well, no?
Yeah, sure. I would like to talk about everything now. I mean, I'm very interested in supporting the body, because this is the only body we have, and I know that we have abused the body, and I'm just so much into supporting it. So let me ask you about the knees. I know that the skeletal system is kind of connected in a way where if you have certain problem in one, you will experience it in another part, which you said actually. Also, I noticed that when I'm spending so much time in the computer, if my chair is, for example, high, that my feet wouldn't land on the floor, I feel uncomfortable. So that the ergonomic chair, I guess, would handle that and stuff like that. But what about the knees? Do you have any solution for knee problems, like especially when you're getting older and
Of
the body?
course,
Yeah.
uh, I have effective solution for this one, and I'm really surprised that doctors and basically many physiotherapists who are in the system higher than myself, they don't apply it. So listen, one of the major problems with the knees, which 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 brings the person to the point when they need operation, knee replacement, and so on, comes again from the posture. But here we're talking not just sitting at the computer desk. We're talking now about the posture in daily life, the way how you stand, the way how you walk, and then how you hold yourself, and and then um, and then how you place your feet. Because this is my job, so I walk on the street or wherever I am, I look at people, how they walk, how they stand and things, and I just say, over 90% of people, over 95 or whatever, they are disconnected from their body. Their posture, if you call it good and bad, the posture is really bad. It's out of line, and placing the way how they walk, stand, and how they put the feet on the ground, puts a lot of pressure on the knee, and puts the knee out of place. And because the knee is out of place, there comes a moment, I don't know, see if this is a knee. Let's say you have a bad positions in the knee, it put the joint in the things, and then you have a friction, increased frictions on one side of the knee. It warms out the cartilage. Comes the point at about 40, 50 years, when the cartilage is broken or is worn out, then you need operation. The correction, I can give you massage to relieve the pain. But because you've been walking like this one for 20 or 30 or 40 years, the damage is already done. And so the correction here in preventions of the many new operations would be correction of the posture, teaching people the good posture, show them how to do it, and doing some basic exercises that will give the body more flexibility. The point about the good posture and teaching people, I remember when I was a kid at school, I was having my teachers and my parents were always telling me to sit straight and keep my elbows behind the back to keep my spine straight. We as the children were probably ignoring it, but then when I see today, I asking myself these questions: how come these people were teaching me how to sit and how to walk and how to sit straight when today I see they all crooked? They were complete hypocrisy. That because if these people were applying what they're teaching me as a child, I would not see these people today walking like crap, and they wouldn't have to. So this correction to the many knee problems would be, as I focus a lot of attentions on correcting the posture and telling the people, showing them practically how to correct the posture and how to do what kind of exercises and corrections they can do practically to get to the right posture and put the body in line, in axis. And what this happens is, this is like a prevention is the best cure. You will basically not get into the point when you have a pain in the knee.
Right. And with women, you can see the fashion doesn't really support the body because it supports our need for attention. Because I have used those shoes with heels and stuff like that, and I know that it is just for the fashion or to be attractive to the opposite sex that I used it before. But now I use this. It's a 5-finger shoes, and it's really cool.
It's
I
called
need,
vibra.
it's a 5-finger shoes, and I use this even if I'm going to a formal occasion, and it's really cool. I can jump and I can fly.
It is very effective. I've seen it from my patients. They told me that once they put the shoes, basically the back pain is almost gone. Almost. It was simply because of the shoes they were using before. It was putting their foot in the wrong position. From there, through the chain reaction, goes all the way to the spine, and then we have a problem.
Right. Just now that we're talking about this, now it reminds me of how the mind and what we desire. Let's say I desire to be able to attract someone, so I will have to put on this nice dress with these stiletto heels, for example, when I was younger. But in the equation, I did not include the body, which is actually me being the breath in the body. I did not have that cognition or awareness even then. So I really think that this should be included in school, like telling people you are that breath in that body. I mean, that's common sense, but we never put the body into the equation. So it's good that we're talking about this and supporting the body. So with the knees, yeah, I can relate to that. My mom is scheduled for surgery, but she's delaying it also because of the pain involved and stuff like that. But as you said, we have abused the body since we were young, so sometimes we cannot avoid having these operations. But also, I want to ask you, what about the back, like the lower back? If there's some problem in, for example, L5 somewhere there, or the coccyx, and so what do you suggest?
Again, look at the posture.
Yeah, we're going to the posture. So what is the best for posture? You talked about sitting down or when you're doing your computer work. Yeah, you have to straighten your back and stuff like that, and ergonomic chairs and that. What about walking? What is the
Well, the best things to do would be if I make a video and show people
how to really do it?
but I will do it in the future. In the meantime, you can simply go on internet and search for correct posture or good posture, and search engines will get you to. There will be some articles and some images on how to correct the posture. This is the thing with the posture. This is something very basic, very, very, very fundamental, very basic. But I don't really see doctors talking about it to their patients. You go to the doctor with the back pain, and instead of telling them, okay, you have bad posture, they give you the anti-inflammatory, or they give you painkiller and just see you on next. But well, we can blame doctors, we can blame everybody, but in the end, everybody is responsible for their own. And so once you have the pain as a person, everybody should sit down and just say, okay, what is going on here? Take a piece of paper and say, what can I do? And look at the fundamentals, like a correct posture, about how you work, and the way you dress, as you said, because all abuses the body in the end, influences the body. And this is, as I was talking in the beginning, the cause of the pain is not where the pain is. So the same here. It is like, okay, what I'm talking about, the good posture and the correct posture is one of the solutions, but then from there, we can go further and we can look, why do we have a posture? So from there, with posture, say, okay, I have a posture because I wear high heel shoes, and then we ask, why do I wear high heel shoes? Because I want to look pretty. And then we're entering into the different levels, deeper levels of the mind.
Right.
So that then me as a therapist, I cannot talk to people. I not often talk to the people and say, look, you have problems, emotional problems. Somebody who comes with wrist pain, and I said, you have emotional problems with your mind because you want to look pretty, or you don't feel you have low self-esteem, and so on. So what I say, I do as much as I can, seeing where is the patient. I say, okay, you correct the posture, and if they're interested, then we can go deeper and say, okay, why do I wear high heel shoes? I want to look pretty. In the case of women, okay, so why do you want to look pretty? And you see, from there we can go and go and go, and we go to the final cause of the problem, and the final cause of the problem is you or me.
Exactly,
So
isn't it?
This is all about the cause of the problem is there. It's not where the pain is. This is just a symptom. And if you really want to get rid of the problem with your wrist or with the knee, if you trace all the way to the cause, you correct it, you will fix the wrist.
Right.
But this is not how the doctors think. They give you the painkiller for the wrist, you put it there, see you later.
Right. Greg, I have witnessed the cat, and because I was doing yoga for 29 years before, and I stopped it for a while just to look at how should it really be done, like yoga and meditation. So now I have seen some insights there. But looking at the cat, they walk, and then they when they see a wall, they kind of do that. Even they do it with your leg, they kind of go in there and rub their back and stuff like that. And I thought, why don't we do that? Like if we see for example, a moment where we can actually exercise the body, why don't we just do it? I mean, do you have any perspective on this? Can we actually assist the body by just stopping for one moment and doing some maybe exercises or massaging ourselves like that near the computer?
Yeah, of course. I forgot about it. Once you sit in front of the computer, very simple thing. You get your hands and give yourself massage here, because this will release the tension there. Like you do it 5 or 6 or 7 times a day for 1 minute. This will help. You go there as far as you can go, depending on your flexibility. Go there and you get massage. Same here on your neck. Go ahead. This in itself is supporting the body.
It feels good now.
It feels better when somebody else does.
But of course, the masseuse is there for a reason. Sometimes it gets really tough, but before, when I was doing yoga and meditation, I used to do self massage. Do you have any kind of self massage techniques that you can teach?
In the case of wrist pain, you and the people who work on the computer, you just go in there.
Like that.
If you will be surprised how much relief it will give you for this trapezius muscle. For here, many people who have headaches from working on the computer, there is many reasons for headaches, but one of them is like a tension here all the time. So giving a self massage, you increase the blood flow. The brain will get more oxygen. You will have a chance of eliminating your headaches from doing simple things. What the point is, I'm so surprised that we have got to the point where there is some background noise there, no? Somebody snoring. A dog or something.
It must be my partner. But okay. I put the headphone on. But it's supposed to be noise cancelling, so let's embrace his snore. So,
Eh,
and we'll deal with that later on when we do our next video, I guess. So it's showing. So that's how I work, like walking moment by moment. If we have a problem now, so then we can deal with that later on. But also sleeping, talking about sleeping, like how do you sleep properly with the correct posture?
Good one. When somebody comes to me with the pain, I will also, one of the questions, how do you sleep? Probably the best positions would be sleeping on the back, because this is
Uh-huh.
less, puts less stress on the neck and so on. But then there are very few people who can actually sleep whole night on the back. Most of the people sleep on the side or on their stomach, and this positions already puts stress on the neck there, and being in these positions for 6 to 8 hours at night and so on puts a lot of stress and can contribute to a lot of problems with the shoulder, with the wrist, with the headaches and so on. So the way I have discovered, and I recommend to my patients, is that if you sleep on the side, you always make sure that the pillow is the height that compensates this height here between the shoulder and the head. So the head
Okay.
doesn't fall in this position.
What's the consequence of making the head fall in that
Well,
direction?
you have the bones that are squeezing and pressing on the nerves, and it blocks the flow of everything, of blood, of lymph and everything.
Hmm.
So you can do experiment. You tied up your head like this one, put in position all night, and you will see the next day you will be completely in pain. It will be difficult for you to get things. Then what is happening is that being this position, it just the bones, the vertebrae in the spine, somehow they get out of place. Every time something gets out of place, it's pressing on something, pulling something, pressing on the nerves. And if this is not functioning 100% through the chain reaction, will go somewhere else. So as I said, keep the good posture also when you sleep. Again, we have the posture.
Right. That brings me back to having a partner and hugging. Like, usually you turn on your back to hug the other partner whose back is facing you. Is that brings us back to how do we actually lie down and physically interact with a partner um, while on the bed, which can go in deeper in terms of how we do sex. I didn't realize we're going this way, but it's kind of going there because I always wondered, because when you embrace someone, it's kind of it's uncomfortable in a way, but you get in there because you've got to express some sort of physical something. So do you have any perspective on this? How do you hug a partner properly?
So as I
Where
said, you make sure that your head is
at this?
supported by the pillow. And then for people who have no partner, if you sleep on the side with the pillow, like I told you, there will be still tendency that the head will stay on the pillow, but then your whole body will twist. You will end up somehow in this position. Can you
Right.
see? Can you
Mhm.
visualize it?
Yes,
What I see
because
is
I
that
had been in that position, so I know.
this is one of them. Also, another important element that causes a lot of problems with the neck and the shoulders. So I suggest for people who have no partners, you get the pillow that will prevent you from falling down and putting your head in this position. You sleep on the side, you put a second pillow here on your chest, and this will
Oh,
prevent the movement. This is when you don't have partner. If you have partner,
yeah.
you can substitute the pillow with the partner.
So what you're saying is hug a pillow? Is that the same, or you're saying something else?
Yes, because the pillow will prevent you from falling completely down and preventing these positions when you sleep like this for 1 or 2 hours, when your neck is putting in the extreme, and this is very not proper. But obviously, when you sleep with a partner, then comes the problem that you have a shoulder that after half an hour falls asleep or something like this one. So you give a hug to your partner for like 15, 20 minutes, and then you have to change.
Yeah, well, this is very interesting, Greg, because what is the best position? So it's not the best position, right? Because if you can hold it only for 15 minutes, that means that you're compromising your body in that 15 minutes to be, there must be an ergonomic way of doing it or whatever that.
But so here we have the things, we can enter here into the mind. Why do you keep your partner like this one if your body is uncomfortable? So
Right.
you're holding your partner because you should, or because you want to, or something. I mean, it's just simple things. Let's say I have in my head that I should sleep like this one with my partner because everybody else does it, and because it should be like this. So I am in pain, but I still sleep like this with the partner. And here I'm not listening to my body. So you see these things that we can enter into the mind.
I know. I did not plan to actually ask you this, but this is life's way of just putting us together to address the basic issues that is not normally being talked about. Go ahead, Greg. This is very interesting.
So it's very nice to sleep on the side to your partner, giving a hug. But when you're becoming numb in your shoulder or something, you try to find different position, or you just go and sleep, roll on the other side, and have a freedom. But you find a position that is comfortable for you, and remember about one basic thing: keep your head as straight as possible there, that you get the support, and so on. And then I cannot give you a key. I cannot give you here exactly the point, because this everybody will see for themselves. But obviously, if you call me, Greg, I have a problem with the neck pain, I don't know how to sleep with a partner, I can come to your house, I see how you're sleeping, and I tell you this and this and this. If you want, I can do it, but you have to pay for my ticket to the States.
Okay. For now, let's learn from what you're saying. And really, this brought this to my attention, and we are going to maybe later on in our future hangouts, we can explore how we can interact with a partner in a more supportive way for the body's structure not to be compromised. So we have about 3 minutes. What is your message for us?
The message is like this: the current health system, is very ineffective. Then the second point is, it is really, in my practice, it is really difficult to find the case which cannot be helped. I mean, when somebody has a problem, there is almost always something that can be done to improve it. Even in the serious cases. I have worked with serious cases. I have colleagues that work with serious cases where the traditional medicine already given up. We have helped the people. So the solutions out there, and then the solutions to even the most complicated cases are very simple and basic. By making the basic corrections, type posture, breathing, proper nutrition, and so on, we can correct a lot of serious problems in the body, but then also in the world. This is my statement, and proven in the practice. I work with people with serious cases. We help them all the time, if they want. Correction, if they want, because if they have some, the main thing is that we have to take into the account the mind element and the ego. If somebody doesn't want, if they have some issues on the mind level and the ego level, no matter what I do, I'm not able to help them. But if somebody is willing to work with themselves and they want change, there's always something that can be done to improve. Well, almost always, or maybe I could even say always.
Always, yeah.
Very few, maybe very few cases that are really complicated with very serious accidents. Maybe then I say no, but on majority of cases, we can help people, and it's easier than you think. Maybe not you, but other people.
Right. And now this has opened a lot of doors, different ways, especially posture, you know. Well, we just neglect these basic things, Greg. And thank you for bringing us back to the basics, which is posture. And I can see that the mind has its own posture, you see. And however, we think kind of relates to the posture that the body takes. Um, so thank you for being here.
Do I
And
have,
I would, and
do
I
I,
would, excuse me.
do I have 1 minute to say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Uh, Once I came across a saying that somebody said in regards to the body posture or the axis of the body. Somebody said that when the axis changes, referring to the axis of the earth, when the axis changes, the world changes. When the world changes, the axis changes. So here, me focusing on the posture is that I know that if I was able to correct the axis and the posture of every person in this world, this whole world will change. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way the both posture refers also that we are not in our axis of the whole body is not in place, and through this being out of place, we make decisions that create the system that we are. But from there, we also influence how the axis of our Earth is placed. So shifts. So this we can go really deep, but I know that if I was able to tell everybody who listens to this video corrects the posture, I know that I will change the world. And I put so much attention to almost every patient that comes to my door. I tell them posture, boom, 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 simply because I understand this principle. I will able to change the world if I correct the posture of every person in this world.
Right, Greg. Also, like, could we actually tell the body, because the body knows if it's an organism, you know, what is the best posture that you would want to be in. But I would like to thank everyone for watching. Thank you, Greg, and looking forward to talking with you soon again and having a hangout with you, because we opened a lot of doors in this hangout. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jen.
Thank you, Greg. Bye bye for now.